Alright. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Um, this is Jacob Cast 2024. We're going to do Monday Night Raw review. I'm not going to do a live stream. I think I'm just going to do a video. I'm hoping it lasts like an hour. Hopefully it lasts like an hour. I might be a little bit too tired to do a live stream, so I'll probably just make a video, a pretty short video. Now, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hopefully, y'all can enjoy my video here. Enjoy this video here. Just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment, please. Subscribe to my channel. This video was sponsored by JD from New York, Salamat to Sound Off, Fight for Pro Wrestling, and other podcasts I know of. This will be like an hour long. I don't make it too long, but it can kind of late, so I did fall asleep. Now we'll talk about Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about some of the news and rumors, and I'll talk about some of the matches here. I know now there were 5 matches on the show. Monday Night Raw was fine. It was a decent show. Matches were good. We had a good storyline. This was the go home show for. It was the go home show for the Saturday Night Main Event, which is this Saturday on November 1st. Now, we don't have Penta or Rusev, but we got Carlito and Dragon Lee. The match ended at a DQ because I think El Guadalupe Khan got involved with these guys. I don't think we have Nikki Bella on here, so we have Roxanne defeated Nikki Bella. Braun Breaker defeated LA Knight. I think Sheamus beat JD McDonough. Who won this match? I have to go see for a minute. Alright, so was it Bailey and Lyra or Charlotte and Alexa? Am I with Charlotte and Alexa? We'll have to see that for a minute. Alright. Well, I just want to make this real quickly. I'm not gonna do a live stream. I think I'll do a live stream on Friday. I'll just do one. Only make a video here on Monday. It might be pretty quick. It wasn't that much to talk about on Monday Night Raw. So, yeah. I think I'll show y'all some of the podcasters. We're gonna talk about some of the news and rumors here, man. I mean, based on what we got on Monday Night Raw, the show opened up with Jey Uso and CM Punk. They make it there down. They have faith to faith. They claim they're to run the world champion. We had a nice vignette with WWE celebrate Oscar 10-year anniversary of being with the company. Los Americos ruined the #1 contenders match with Penta and Rusev. Now, at the match, it was a good match. At the match ended in a DQ because they interfered. Penta and Rusev will face Dominic for the IC title in a triple threat match at Saturday Night Main Event this Saturday. So beneficial. I think we got 4 matches on that show. Roxanne Perez scored a statement over Nikki Bella. A backstage segment with Jimmy Uso apologizing to Jey Uso for what happened last week. Paul Heyman introduced the new look vision. So there's Paul, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed had a pretty good match with LA Knight on ninth ending, a great spear they took to LA Knight and won clean. Sheamus versus JD McDonough in a very good match. And then we got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra. That was the main event. Obviously, Charlotte and Alexa won. Yeah. Now, there's a lot on here. Might show Solomon Monster and JD. Alright, so, here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Because he does, at least in ring, unveil. We didn't get the unveil. And so they had to recalibrate their plans. We ended up with this match. The least interesting of all the potential matches they could be giving us this weekend. That's not what closed the show, though. They actually closed the show with the women's tag team titles. We don't see them defended on this show very often. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, they were on Raw tonight to put the titles on the line against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. This came out of a social media challenge, a video that Bayley had posted a few days ago. So that's how this match came together. And when the match was over, and it was a very good main event, when the match was over, we got sort of a little hint as to what women's war games is shaping up to look like. We didn't have all the key players on the show tonight. There was no Rhea Ripley. There was no Io Sky, who just had a fantastic match with Mayu Iwatani at the Marigold show just a couple of days ago. I assume that's why she wasn't on the show here tonight. So the women's War Games match is slowly coming into focus after what we saw tonight. That was actually one of a handful of very good matches on this show. Actually, Sheamus and JD McDonough had an excellent match on this show. And then we had LA Knight and Braun Breaker, which we'll talk about. Were it not for the handful of really good matches that we had on this show, that really was the saving grace of Monday Night Raw tonight. Because I thought the rest of this show was very dull. It was largely very boring. We do have a new championship match added to Saturday night's main event. It will be Dominic Mysterio putting his Intercontinental title on the line, but against who? I don't mean Jim Neidhart. We had a singles match, a number one contenders match tonight. Penta and Rusev, the winner would go on to challenge Dom. I will let you know who that person or people is going to be. But we did get that match added. Now, what people have been talking about all day, actually what people have been talking about all weekend, are these vignettes that have been dropped on WWE social media channels. And they aired a series of them throughout the show tonight. It must have been like 4 of them. And everybody all weekend, what could this be in reference to? Who's coming back? Right? Or who's debuting? Is it Gunther? Because they show you someone's shoes. Someone's walking. Whose shoes are these? Is it Gunther? Is it Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho is like the wildest one. Especially given the fact that he's still under contract to another company. But people got it in their heads that, maybe it's Chris Jericho. Like, who is it going to be? Let me put your mind at ease here. And if it wasn't obvious after tonight, I don't know what to tell you. But this is part of the initial rollout for WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. So I don't know if it's going to be a series of vignettes or just one big one that they unveil. We didn't get the unveiling tonight. But that's all it is. It's a bunch of hype videos for WrestleMania next year. The dead giveaway was the last one they showed us, which was a spinning poker chip that lands and it says 2026 on it. And then there's another one. You can clearly see it's Cody Rhodes' hand. He's pouring some of that Wheatley vodka into a glass. There's another one with someone wearing jeans and shoes. Obviously, it's Brock Lesnar. That's all it is. So don't get your hopes up. No one is debuting. It's nothing like that. I don't know. Again, maybe later in the week they'll give us the big reveal for what it is. But before people get all excited about what this could be in reference to, they're going back to Las Vegas. That's all it is.
This is your Raw on Netflix review. It is Monday, October 27th, 2025. I am the Solid Monster, our final Raw post-show here for the month of October. Final Raw before Halloween, which is coming up at the end of the week. Very excited about that. Like and subscribe. Super chats are open. I also want to say thank you. I posted this on social media earlier, but I did want to just say thank you again. The latest Sound Up, episode 935, went up yesterday and climbed as high as number 2. All wrestling podcasts on Apple Podcasts in the United States. Look at this, a little cornet sandwich here. It's like a Oreo cookie, but you know the best part of the Oreo cookie? It's that creamy filling. That's what I am. I'm the creamy filling. So thank you for getting us to number 2, getting me to number 2. If you missed the latest Sound Up, I've gotten a lot of feedback about that last segment, the mailbag segment, the last question in the mailbag. People seem to be very entertained by that. You'll definitely want to go check that out. I will get that up on the YouTube channel tomorrow. But anyway, so thank you for that. The other thing I want to mention is that I will be live on Saturday. We are going to be reviewing Saturday night's main event. See, the last couple of ones I wasn't around for, but I'll be here for the next 2. So join me for that post show. That'll be coming up on Saturday night. Of course, I'll be here Wednesday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So you're going to be getting a lot of me this week. Hopefully you don't get sick of me. And if you do, well, you wouldn't be the only one, I'm sure. They opened the show. Let's go back to the beginning of Raw tonight. They opened the show with the World Heavyweight Championship sitting on a podium in the middle of the ring, and Jey Uso was yeeting his way through the crowd all the way down to the ring. And then after his music died, of course, he ran it back, and they queued his music up again, and he did some more yeeting. You know, look, the live crowds, all the little kids in the live crowds, they love to yeet, right? And they get big into Jay's entrance. Very clear, right? It's a lot of fun for them when you're live. When you're watching it on TV, though, and 10 minutes go by, and nothing has happened, other than watching this man come through the crowd and yeet and sing, and then the music stops, and they play it again, and more yeeting, and fucking 12 minutes of the show has elapsed. That's not my idea of fun. Finally, it ended, and now it was time for Jay to speak, and he welcomed us to Monday Night Raw, which, just complete cringe. Jay complained about having everybody in his ear. Jimmy's in his ear, Roman's in his ear, his own mother is in his ear. But he says that he's only listening to himself now, and he's focused on winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And he went to go do his catchphrase. That was really going to be it. That was going to be the entire promo here that he was going to give us. And then CM Punk's music hit. So Punk comes down to the ring. And they're circling, the championship is in between them. They're kind of circling each other. And Punk asked the fans if he wants them to run his music back. And they do. And they start playing Cult of Personality again, which was kind of funny. And thankfully he cut that shit off before we wasted another 10 minutes on this. So he told Jay, sorry for stealing your stuff. 4 letters, 1 word. Punk. Said he's happy that Jay is finally listening to himself. It's no secret that the two of them are friends, which is what makes it harder for him to go in to battle against him this weekend. And then Punk mentioned what happened last week. Remember, they had that number 1 contenders battle royal on the show last week. And Jimmy saved his brother a couple of times, and then ultimately Jay dumped Jimmy out of the ring. Jimmy was not very happy about that. So Punk brought all of this up, and the crowd booed. And Punk admonished the fans and said, no, don't boo that. Jimmy knew the rules. It's every man for himself in a battle royal. There's no need to boo. And Punk asked Jay, how far are you willing to go to be champion? Because he needs to be champion, just like he needs air in his lungs. How far is Jay willing to go when Punk has knocked his grill out of his mouth, and he's in a situation where you can't yeet your way out of it? So Jay said that he's been in the deep water before. He knows how to swim. He said Punk tries to paint a picture of him being the bad guy. Screw you, CM Punk. On Saturday night, I'm going to show you who the best in the world is. And Jay closed with his catchphrase, and then he slammed the mic down, and they had a little face-off here at the end. They showed some good fire here, but I mean, this was as basic as it gets. They didn't have a whole lot to say. In the annals of great CM Punk promos that we have gotten here on this show, and all of the feuds that he's had since he came back to the company, this will not go down as one of the more memorable CM Punk promos because there's not a whole lot to work with here. Again, this match came about last week. So they had 1 week, to promote this match between two babyfaces who have not had beef with each other at all. Not at all. You know, that's why I said, like, of all the potential opponents for CM Punk on this show this weekend, Jey Uso was the least interesting of the bunch. Because even if it was only one segment here on this show that you had to really sell people on the magnitude of this match and why this match could be something special. I mentioned all the different names last week, right? And there's 2 names in particular that come to mind since, Braun Breaker was not in the Battle Royal. LA Knight and AJ Styles. There you have something to work with. We had a promo segment a few weeks ago with Punk and LA Knight that was actually very entertaining. Instead, we got Punk and Jey Uso, and this is not Jey Uso's specialty. Selling you on the big match coming up, standing in the middle of the ring in front of a live crowd, and digging down deep and bringing from, out from within him, something that's going to have people kind of really listening in and leaning in and paying attention to what he has to say. That's not Jey Uso. Jey Uso doesn't have a whole lot to say. So, you got what you got here. I don't know what else I was really expecting. I pretty much got what I expected, which wasn't much. But I'm still hoping that we do not crown a new World Heavyweight Champion this weekend, and perhaps the Bronze will get involved. Yes, I actually think that if the Vision were to get involved, as if we don't see this all the time, but this is the one exception I'll make, where I'm actually hoping that the Vision gets involved, and they can find a way to drag this thing out until Survivor Series. It's very unlikely, because I'm sure Punk and a lot of these guys are going to be in the War Games match, I'm sure, but I'm holding out hope they can find a way to drag this out. Now we had Penta. One-on-one with Rusev. This was a number 1 contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta knocked Rusev out to the floor. He followed with a tope con hilo. This was very early in the match. Back inside, Penta hit a springboard tornado DDT for a near fall. Rusev dropped to the floor. He was out there to regroup. And he caught Penta with a right hand when he followed him out. Back inside, Rusev squashed Penta in the corner with an avalanche. Penta came back with a backstabber. It was a sliding drop kick that sent Rusev to the floor. Penta followed again, and this time he got flapjacked into the ring post. So after a break, Penta jumped into a bear hug, but he fought his way out of it. And Penta went up top, and he dove off right into a Machka kick from Rusev. Rusev went for the accolade. Penta was able to counter into the Penta driver, got a great near fall out of it. Close enough that the fans thought it was 3. It was very clearly not 3. And yet the fans, anyway, they chanted, "Ref, you suck." And I thought, this is not the first time in the last several weeks on a WWE show where there has been a near fall that was close. But like we see near fall sometimes where, it should have been 3, right? Or the referee has to hold up or something. But there have been near falls the last few weeks that were close, but the referee made the right call. There was really nothing. Jey Uso is going to Saturday night's main event, and he isn't. He doesn't know how to quit. So whoever comes out of the Punk and Jey match will have to deal with him. So evidently he's still going to be in the hunt, according to him anyway. He'll be waiting. He'll be waiting for whoever the champion is. Good luck with that. Now elsewhere in the bag, we go to the Vision locker room. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman are all together. And Breaker wants to know why they were held out of the Battle Royal last week when they could have demolished every man in the match. And Heyman says, well, you got to look at it like this. It probably would have led to Adam Pearce suspending all of them without pay, being a thorn in their side for the rest of their careers. He said one man shares their vision, which is taking advantage of the winner of the CM Punk Jey Uso match on Saturday after they beat each other half to death. Whoever it is will show up next week as a victim, looking to be victimized by a true victimizer. Heyman says if Braun takes out the one guy who is in the way of them getting that next world title shot, then Braun's path to the championship would be clear. Breaker wants to know who is that one guy, and Heyman said he already went to Adam Pearce and made the match. That guy is LA Knight. Why do I feel like I'm watching reruns of this show every single week? Like, there are times I will watch this show where they'll book a match, and I will think to myself, I feel like I'm watching a rerun. I know this is live television 51 weeks a year, 52 weeks, whatever, but it feels like I'm watching a rerun. This is one of those times. LA Knight, Braun Breaker, where have I seen this before? LA Knight and Braun Breaker. LA Knight and Bronson Reed. LA Knight and Jey Uso. LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. LA Knight, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. LA Knight against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. LA Knight and the Usos against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Like, there's been so many different combinations of this. And it always ends the same for LA Knight. I'm going to give you one guess how it ended tonight. You chew on that while I move on. Now, we got a video package on a decade of Asuka in WWE. I hadn't realized that. But in fact, she did debut in NXT, I guess, in 2015. So, a decade of Asuka in this company, and they showed highlights of her from her undefeated streak in NXT and her Royal Rumble win in 2018, her Money in the Bank win, Elimination Chamber, her various championships. So after that, we go to Adam Pearce's office. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they show up, and they're looking for a rematch. They want their tag team titles back, which they lost to AJ Lee on the show last week. And instead, he said they would get a match against a very pissed off man who was illegally eliminated from the Battle Royal last week, that being Sheamus. And JD McDonough spoke up and says, I'll take the match. So that match was made official for later in the show. Thank God it was, because it was actually ended up being the best thing on the entire show. Then we had Nikki Bella against Roxanne Perez, which may have been the worst thing on the entire show. Roxanne mock-worshipped Nikki at the beginning here, which earned her a slap. Roxanne then got caught with a shot that actually might have legit stunned her for a little bit. After a commercial, Roxanne hit a running uppercut on Nikki while she was up against the ropes, and then a double jump moonsault off the middle rope for a near fall. Roxanne cranked away at Nikki's surgically repaired neck. She had her in a neck vise, and then she went after the back of Nikki's neck with a series of forearms. Nikki double-legged Roxanne and caught her with a running boot. Then she hit a version of the, I guess you would call it a disaster kick. That's basically what it was, only got a near fall. She went for her Rack Attack 2.0 finish. What a name, though, for a finish. Rack Attack 2.0. I feel weird every time I say that. It's just not a good name. But she went for it. Roxanne countered out into a sleeper. Nikki escaped. Roxanne tripped her up in the ropes. So she ended up in like a 619 position. I should point out the crowd was D-E-A-D dead for this match. Dead. It was like background noise for whatever they were doing. They were looking on their phones, going to the bathroom, whatever it was they were doing. This crowd could not be bothered to care about this match. It was like a funeral in this building. Nikki hit a spine buster for a near fall. Raquel Rodriguez, she was outside. She jumped up on the apron, so Nikki knocked her down. Roxanne caught Nikki with a cradle, only got a 2. Nikki went for a charge in the corner. Roxanne ducked, and Nikki slammed herself face first into the middle buckle. And finally, Roxanne got a version of Pop Rocks out of the corner. Not her best Pop Rocks, but she hit Pop Rocks and she got the pin. That's the most important part. This match was not great. And I'm watching this and I'm going, there's no way Roxanne Perez can lose this match. If she loses this match, it will be a miscarriage of justice. At least she won the match. That's the best thing I can say about it. Now, Raquel attacked Nikki after the match. She was in trouble. Until Stephanie Vaquer ran down to make the save. Stephanie and Raquel had a little bit of a stare down. And as they're staring down, you see in the background, here comes Nikki Bella. It's just funny the way she just kind of interjected herself. And I guess the idea was that, Raquel was going to back down at that point, which she did. She decided to stand down. And so that was it. This match wasn't very good. It really was not. And Nikki, the thing with Nikki is she looks so out of place with the women in this division. It's like she's trying too hard to fit in. I think that's why I almost laughed when I'm looking at Stephanie and Raquel in this face-to-face, and then Nikki just sort of pops up. Like she's trying hard to fit in here, but it just feels like, and she was in many ways, she was transported from another era here of the women's division in this company into this one. And there just are a lot of other women who were in line in front of her. So, if they want to use her name because she has name value, right? She was the longest reigning Divas champion, and she had success, and she has her fans. And if they want to use her in a role like this, where she's going to do the honors for people like Roxanne, I mean, that's fine. But this match here was not it. This was not it. Now, last Friday on social media, they showed the video. Bayley issued a challenge to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss on behalf of Lyra Valkyria and herself for the women's tag team titles. Now, we come back live. Asuka and Kairi Sane, they get on Lyra's case about the whole thing because Asuka feels very strongly about the fact that they deserve, the Kabuki Warriors deserve a shot at the women's tag team titles. And so Lyra's trying to tell them, look, I had nothing to do with this. It's like she didn't even know that Bayley was going to issue this challenge. So after the Kabukis left, Bayley showed up with matching tag team jackets. She had one for Lyra, as well as herself. Lyra points out, I've never been in the ring before with Charlotte Flair, and I've never been in the ring before with Alexa Bliss. And Bayley, realizes, that's right. I guess you haven't been in the ring with them before. Now she starts to get worried, like, what if we don't win? What if we don't win the tag team titles? And Lyra has a different take on things. Her perspective is, yeah, but what if we win? And Bayley liked that attitude, and then they did some goofy handshake, and they abruptly cut away. Now, elsewhere, Jimmy Uso approached Jey Uso backstage, and he was not happy at all. He took great issue with Jey saying that it's just him now. That's what he was saying in his opening promo. It's all about me now, right? It's just me, Uso, right? So he doesn't like this whole attitude that Jey is sporting lately. And he points out that I saved you twice in the Battle Royal last week, and you dumped me out of the ring. And Jey said, well, it was every man for himself. And Jimmy said, the play was that we would eliminate everybody else, and then it would be every man for himself when it came down to you and me. And Jimmy said, maybe you were afraid of finding out what would happen if we had been the last two. Not a lot of good vibes there between the two brothers. The crowd reacted to that last line. Again, there's something brewing here. I don't know which direction they're going with this. I don't know if one's going heel over the other.
Maybe season 4.
They're both going to go heel. If no one's going heel, they want to keep you thinking like something's going to happen here. But there's any number of ways they can go with it. None of them are particularly appealing to me, if I'm being honest with you. The story between Jimmy and Jey is fine. My fear is that if Jey Uso ends up with the World Heavyweight Championship, that this story now has to involve the world title when it doesn't. And I really think at the end of the day, they're not going to put the title back on Jey. Right? There's always that possibility they could, but I don't think they will. Because this definitely does not need the World Heavyweight Championship involved. They could tell whatever story they're going to tell from within the bloodline, right? Jimmy and Jey and Roman, and it does not have to revolve around the world title. Jey wants to win the world title back, but by no means does he actually have to beat CM Punk to win the belt back this weekend. Now that brings us to LA Knight and Braun Breaker. During his entrance, LA Knight is coming out, and he looks up and he sees a fan in the crowd right there in the aisleway holding up a sign, and I couldn't tell at first what the sign said, and then I could see. And he grabs the sign out of the fan's hand, and he shows it to the loses this match, is not going to be in contention for the championship. So now we know who is not going to be in contention for the championship, and that is LA Knight. And that's why I would not have booked the match to begin with. I would not have booked this match to begin with. LA Knight has lost enough matches on this show, primarily to the Vision, to where he can ill afford to continue eating losses like this. Braun Breaker, coming out of that great angle they shot a couple of weeks ago, should be booked, I don't want to say unstoppable, like he should be beating everybody in 2 minutes, but he should be protected now in a way that they were not protecting him before. And they went in there and they had what ended up being a really good match, but I feel like Breaker gave him too much. Right? So it's like, I wouldn't have booked the match to begin with. I would have had them or Breaker wrestling somebody else, doing something else. But as soon as the match was made, it was very clear how this was going to go. And again, my other issue with it is that it just feels to me, when I was watching them out there, like I'm watching the show on repeat. Because we have seen some combination of this so many times, going back to the summer. At what point do they move on to something else and they have these guys mixing it up with other faces on the show? It just feels like the same thing over and over and over again. It's like the easy thing to fall back on. Well, we'll just do another match. We'll just have Braun Breaker again against LA Knight. Great. But at what point does somebody say, you know what? I think we've done this enough. Maybe we should try something a little bit different. The backstage, Adam Pearce exited his office. He was looking for Dominic Mysterio. And he finds Dom, who is chatting with the Americanos. And Dom explains to Pearce how Rusev and Penta, I guess, they're going to have to go after the Americanos now. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know they were going to do that. And Pearce said he didn't buy it. And he said, actually, you mentioned that now they're going to have to go after the Americanos. Rusev and Penta, they're both coming after you. And then he made it official that it's Saturday night's main event. Dom would have to defend his Intercontinental title in a triple threat match against Rusev and Penta. So that match is official. Now, elsewhere, Jimmy and Jay, they meet again. Jimmy's walking, and he comes across Jay, who's just sitting on top of one of the equipment cases. And Jay tells him, look, I love you. That's never going to change. Jay says he's got a lot on his mind, and he doesn't have a lot of real estate left. It's only got so much room, I guess, up here, right? Jay asked if they were good. Jimmy said, I feel you. Where's that super chat? Do you feel him, sir? Yes. He feels him. So for the time being, the brothers have made amends. We'll see how long that lasts. We had Sheamus against J.D. McDonough, who had Finn Balor in his corner. This was the match of the night right here. Always good when we get Sheamus on the show. He is always reliable for at least a good match, if not a great match here on these shows. We just don't get enough of them. Sheamus brutalized McDonough in the opening. McDonough clipped it. It's worth it to get him involved in some hit a running blockbuster. I was trying to think of okay, what is the configuration of these teams going to look like? I'm talking about the whole thing. Hopefully you guys will join me. Take a look at the Twitter poll. What did you think, Jey Uso? I'm sitting here and I'm like, boy, who do I want to win this match? Neither one of these guys. If I'm being honest, I don't have a favorite here. Like, I want this guy to win. I want that. I don't want either one of these guys to win. Honestly, not now. Punk, not now. I'm pulling for the Bronze to show up. Good old Bronze Breaker. I mean, we'll see. If they give us a new world champion, though, it's going to be CM Punk. And then we have the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defends against Drew McIntyre. And I talked about this on Sunday. If we are going to get a new world champion crowned, and if Jade Cargill is going to win the women's title. I don't see them changing all. Now Dom's not going to lose, but I don't see them doing a third title change in the Cody and Drew match. So I feel like Cody is retaining. I think Drew should win. I want Drew to win. Drew is my favorite to win here. Do I think Drew is going to win? I don't. Now, I don't know where he goes from here if he doesn't. That's the only thing. If he goes in there and loses, why would he even get another shot at that point? He already lost clean at WrestlePalooza. So you beat him again here, and he's pretty much dead in the water. But you got Survivor Series coming up. So if they're going to run this back again, or maybe Randy Orton comes back and make it a triple threat, something has to happen here on this show on Saturday. So ideally, Drew McIntyre would win the championship. Boy, if Jade is winning and Punk is taking that title home, I don't see them changing the title here in this match. I just don't. I don't think they're going to do it. But I'll be live. The show is over. I'll be live talking about the whole thing. Hopefully you guys will join me. Take a look at the Twitter poll. What did you think of Raw here from Anaheim? 66. Oscar says he's excited to visit New York City in just a
Rhodes. He was supposed to be advertised tonight, or at least was advertised up until this afternoon. I don't know what had happened there. Maybe it was a false advertisement. Maybe he's working a dark match. I don't know why that was making the news this afternoon. I thought that something would be going down with him on the show. Show could have used him for sure. But, like I said, the table was set. There wasn't really much for WWE to do as far as Saturday night's main event. The big deal tonight was the wrestling. The pro wrestling on tonight's show was really good. Probably some of the best pro wrestling on a Monday night that we've seen all year. We got some bangers tonight. We got Sheamus and JD McDonough, which ultimately doesn't mean anything. But Sheamus is on this thing where he is on his never retirement tour. Or never gonna retire tour. I wish we could preserve Sheamus and cryogenically freeze Sheamus so that when I'm old and gray, I could still watch Sheamus wrestle because he's fucking great. JD McDonough and Sheamus put on a bang. Not much there. But it leads into next week's Raw where JD McDonough wanted to prove a point to Adam Pearce that the Judgment Day deserves another Raw Tag Team title match. And that is coming next week against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Speaking of tag team championships, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, they wrestled Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, WWE is doing whatever they can to keep this division. It's not really a division. They want to pretend it's a division.
If you're an illegal alien, this runway is your future, because you're headed home. I'm Christine Hall.
Really. And WWE has slapped the label of division on it. There's no women's tag team division. Regardless of that, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss worked very good as a tag team. They were in there against probably two of the best opponents that they could ask for, in Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. That was a great main event. Sloppy. Lyra got her hair stuck on Alexa Bliss's outfit, but other than that, I thought it was a great main event. What does it mean at the end of the day? I don't know. Do we see a lot of these women that we saw tonight inside War Games? Probably yes. We'll talk about that as we predicted what the Women's War Games match is going to be in San Diego. Again, the only thing I could think of as far as that is WWE is setting us up for some sort of conglomeration of women on Monday Night Raw to fit into the Women's War Games at Survivor Series. We talked about who I think that will be a few weeks ago. We'll reiterate that again here tonight on the post show. We had Rusev and Penta. They went one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender. Dominic is the Intercontinental Champion. Obviously, the Judgment Day and Dominic are at each other's throats. Dominic is not really in favor or he's not really looked at as favorable from the rest of the Judgment Day. He's very much in the doghouse. So he sought help from El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. So those are his backup. Those are his boys. He got those boys involved because he doesn't want to wrestle either Rusev or Penta because he's afraid to lose the championship. And just like we said a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like it would be a triple threat match where we didn't know. Now we know. So Dominic Mysterio and the Intercontinental Championship title picture was forwarded at least tonight until Saturday night's main event. And we have a triple threat match on the horizon with Dominic defending the IC title against Rusev and Penta. So again, not much there. You kind of saw that coming. If you watched the show, you knew exactly where they were going. And then we got CM Punk. CM Punk and Jey Uso, the vacant World Heavyweight Championship was very much on display tonight. They wanted you to be fixated on what is on the line this Saturday. I don't really know what else I can say outside of what I said the last time I spoke about Punk and Jey Uso. Spoke about this last week. Spoke about it on TNT with Solomon on Tuesday. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. It's either going to be Punk or Jey Uso, and I hope neither one of them walk out with the championship. That's what I hope. I hope there is no new World Heavyweight Champion. I hope neither Punk or Jey Uso are the World Heavyweight Champion. And I hope that the title is very much still vacant going into Survivor Series. Very much still vacant. We'll talk about that and why when I talk about the opening segment, because CM Punk is getting Jey Uso on Saturday night, and they had a face-to-face in the open of Raw. Again, not much as far as story took place tonight on Monday Night Raw, but we'll try and navigate the best that we can tonight. This is your Monday Night Raw post-show for October 27th, 2025. Tonight, we are sponsored by MyBookie, MyBookie.com, or MyBookie.ag. I apologize, MyBookie.ag. Make sure you guys use the promo code. It's taking place in 2 weeks on Long Island. So if you guys are in the New York area and you're going to be roaming around there at the big event in New York City, I may find myself over there. My fucking questions is very disheartening and very disrespectful, and I'm fucking angry. And you guys have my permission, no matter where you are. Twitter, Instagram, let them know. Reach out to JD. Let them know. Tired of the fucking absolute silence from the people that work there. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the content on the channel. We uploaded a great video on Saturday. Talked about Jericho and Andrade. And how TK could be looking at both of them walk back into the WWE. Andrade debuted with AEW only to be let go to join WWE, to join AEW, and he may find himself back in WWE. Jericho's a free agent at the end of December, and he may be in the Royal Rumble. So go check that out. We talk about that. That's two big names, Jericho being the biggest. So we'll definitely talk about that. That's going to be a major blow for AEW, no matter how you want to look at it. The sickos will deny it. AEW will be losing one of their top-tier generals to WWE. Why? Because they're fucking clueless. So make sure you guys go check that out. Hit that thumbs up. And if you guys want to support, Super Chats are always open. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's try and close out the month of October in a great way. So if you guys want to support, Super Chats are open. They will remain open. So get them on in and we'll hang out at the end of the show. And by the way, if you guys are into liquid death like I am drinking tonight Psycho Cider. If you guys can find it, I found it today at the local supermarket here. It's one of their carbonated sodas. It's not really a soda. It's just sparkling water that tastes like soda. It is one of the best liquid deaths that I've had. It's literally apple soda. It's apple sparkling water. It's the best apple sparkling water that I've had in quite some time. So if you guys can find it, Liquid Death Psycho Cider. It is definitely worth it if you can find it. It is a limited edition. So if you guys do find it, pick it up. I found it on sale today for $6.99 for 6. So it was a good deal. Socks, and who's not wearing socks? I think it's fucking weird if you're giving us these vignettes and it has nothing to do with anything the fans talked about. It's WrestleMania campaign. It's a promotional tactic used to get the hype out for WrestleMania in Las Vegas. It's fucking October. Why are you getting the hype around WrestleMania now? I don't get it. You couldn't wait till the end of the year where there's nothing going on? You have to do it in October. You got to get people speculating in October. I don't know who came up with the decision to do this now, but you just let a whole lot of people down for what now is a complete waste of everybody's fucking time speculating over what this could be. This was the most weird and the most bizarre way to let people down over something that was genuinely interesting and exciting. And here WWE is getting the campaign rolled out for WrestleMania 42. I don't know if you know, but it's October and fans don't want to know about WrestleMania. How many fans are upset about WWE's handling over WrestleMania? Not only are they going back to the same city and charging 35 or more percent more for tickets over last year, it's in the same setting, the same venue, the same fucking city, but the year after that you're going to Saudi Arabia. I don't think fans really give a shit about WrestleMania now. You're charging people X amount of money to attend this year's WrestleMania. I don't know how many more people are going to go back and pay that much money to go see WrestleMania this year or next year when this year's WrestleMania was fucking piss poor. Awful. Nothing about that show was memorable. WWE needed to be careful with what they did here, and they dropped the ball, as usual. On the flip side, the fans, and this shows the fans that they actually want to care about the product. The fans actually want to give a shit. If you give them a reason to give a shit, they will. The fans were let down. WWE didn't really help the cause, but the fans were let down because the fans hyped it up to be something that it wasn't. The fans let themselves down. You should automatically know that WWE is going to be WWE and do WWE things. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. They never will. They can pretend all they want that they're for the fans, and the fans are the fucking lifeblood of the product. Sure thing. Sure thing. Here's John Cena front row tickets for $15,000 to watch this man retire, but please, give a shit about our show. How could I give a shit about your show if I can't fucking attend? The fans let themselves down because they hyped it up to be so big and all these different options and all these different fan theories that when it wasn't any of those things, the fans were let down. Who did that? Did WWE do that? They didn't help. But the fans let themselves down. The fans were stupid. The fans got ahead. They came up with all these theories, and then they let themselves down. You got nobody to blame but yourself. That was the weekend's mysterious teaser videos. I'm sure we'll talk about this tomorrow on Tuesday. But WWE did the fans and themselves no favors because they let everybody down. Egg on their face with these stupid foot videos all weekend. Monday Night Raw. The Rock? What does The Rock have to do with it? Is The Rock in one of these foot videos? I don't think so. I'd be shocked if The Rock is in one of these foot videos. Well, it's Cody, Roman, Brock, and Paul Heyman. Monday Night Raw. We got Jey Uso. Starting things off. Gee, I wonder why people were watching the World Series at this time. WWE certainly does not give a shit, man. They waste
Domino's, we believe pizza deserves a proper +1.
Or did
Burgers have fries. Pizza now has bread bite.
Got his full-blown entrance. He's in the ring standing next to the WWE Championship, and you got geeks in the crowd doing the fucking let's do it again. Bro, I can't. I can't. And people legitimately want this guy as the WWE champion. Really. Oh, yeah, I did see that one. Triple H posted one where they were all pouring drinks. Yeah. Yeah, I did see that one. I forgot about that one. People legitimately want Jey Uso to be World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know how anybody would want this guy as the WWE Champion. I can't take it no more, bro. I can't. I just can't look at it anymore. It's fine, but not as World Heavyweight Champion. I'm sorry, we need a World Heavyweight Champion that's going to do things the way a World Heavyweight Champion needs to do things. Jey Uso is not that. We've been there, done that. It was a failure. Nobody gave a shit. And the television didn't find itself to be better with him as champion. I have no problem with Jey Uso. I actually like Jey Uso. I just can't see the man as WWE World Heavyweight Champion for a second time. Not over CM Punk. Not over CM Punk. But he's in the ring. And we get him doing not one but two eats. Jey is standing in front of the World Heavyweight Championship on a podium in the middle of the ring. He says he's got a lot of people in his ears these days, including Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, and everyone's mama is in his ear. He said he doesn't give a shit what they think about him. He said it's just him who's going to be in the ring against Punk on Saturday night, and he's going to become a two-time World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk interrupts Jey. I know, Jey Uso set the world on fire with that promo, I know. So he comes on out. Punk is in the ring, and he makes fun of Jey Uso, and he does, let's play my theme music again, and they actually play Cult of Personality for a second time. And he was making fun of Jey Uso. I apologize, I don't want to steal your stuff. Jey didn't seem too happy. Punk said, 4 letters, 1 word. He pointed at his hoodie. Punk. This is now 13 minutes into the fucking show, and you're supposed to sell me on a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. And you got 10 minutes of heat twice. CM Punk's entrance twice. Jey saying that he's got Roman and everybody's mother in his ear. And CM Punk saying 4 letters, 1 word, Punk. I'm sorry, chat. If you're not excited about this, I can't, for the life of me, figure out why. How many remote controls were picked up and flipped to the World Series? Seemingly WWE doesn't care. Match is already made, and they're basically fucking on cruise control going into Saturday. Punk says he's happy Jey is listening to himself now. He said he likes Jey, so it makes it harder to face him and lace up the boots. Says he's always listened to himself, but that's harder to do when you're losing or about to lose. He says he had a lot of questions tonight, but Jey's body language and his action last week answered a lot of them for him. He says he watched him throw his brother over the top rope. He told fans not to boo that because it's well within the rules of the Battle Royal. It's every man for himself. He said Jey showed everyone that he's got what it takes. He asked Jey how far he was willing to go, though. He says he needs to be champion like he needs air in his lungs. He says he knows how far he has to go, but does Jey Uso? He told Jey he will realize against him he's in a situation where he can't yeet yourself out of. He asked how far was he willing to go. Jey stared him down. He was now angry. Jey said, let's go, Punk, let's go. He says he's been in deep waters before and he knows how to swim. He says he gets the fans behind him and he'll paint a picture that he's the bad guy. Screw you, Punk, says Jey Uso. So he starts yelling. He gets a little bit more intense. He says he will show him who is the best in the world. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. You know, I know a lot of people don't like the Jey Uso shtick, and a lot of people make fun of the fact that LA Knight was passed over again for Jey Uso. And LA Knight needs to change his name to LA Fatu if he stands a chance of getting a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Just become a part of the bloodline. Just become an Oos. In all seriousness, I said this last week, I'm going to say this again. First of all, Jey has been acting very heelish the last 4 or 5 weeks. I do not see Jey Uso turning heel. At least right now. I don't. I think he's too popular. He sells too much merch. I don't know if the networks are going to want that. And I don't know if the networks are going to want to see Jey come out as a bad guy. He's way too popular. He's great with the kids. I just don't see that as a good business move. Would it help enhance Jey Uso? Sure. Sure. But we've been down this road before. We've had this discussion before. If we're going to turn anyone heel, as far as the baby faces are on Monday night, it's LA Knight that should go heel. LA Knight has more than a plethora of reasons why he should go heel and why he's upset with everybody. I just don't see Jey Uso turning heel. He sells way too much merch, and yes, that is still a huge metric for what happens in WWE. I'm going to say this again, just like I did last week, and I'm probably going to say this again on Saturday when we're live for Saturday night's main event. I don't want to see either one of these guys as the World's Heavyweight Champion. I don't want to see Jey Uso as the World's Heavyweight Champion because I just don't want to see him as the World's Heavyweight Champion. We've been there, done that. He beat Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't know what else needs to be done with Jey Uso as the World's Heavyweight Champion. I don't. I have no interest in it. You have no interest in it. WWE seemingly put him in this position for what reason over LA Knight? I don't fucking know. Someone in WWE absolutely has it out for LA Knight. It's the only thing I could possibly think of. Somebody back there has it out for LA Knight. Bruce Pritchard. I'm a betting man. I'm going to put my 2 cents on Bruce Pritchard. Jey Uso does not need the World's Heavyweight Championship. On the flip side, CM Punk doesn't need the World's Heavyweight Championship. If CM Punk is not beating Seth Rollins for the World's Heavyweight Championship, then I don't want to see CM Punk as the World's Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins is not there. He's out with an injury. He's not going to be back for a very long time. He's probably going to miss WrestleMania if the reports are correct. CM Punk should not beat Jey Uso to become the World's Heavyweight Champion. That is so beneath CM Punk. It is not even fucking funny. I don't want CM Punk's reign as World Heavyweight Champion to be legit. The first reign he has. Because I don't count the 5 minutes where he beat Gunther and then got cashed in on. Sure, it's going to count in the record books that he won the World Heavyweight Championship, but he had a 5-minute reign. But at least he beat Gunther. He wrestled Gunther for 30 minutes. He beat one of the best wrestlers on the planet for the World Heavyweight Championship, and we got a memorable moment that followed that win. That was supposed to be the WrestleMania. That was supposed to be either the WrestleMania match or a match before the end of the year.